So thank you. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Max Sports. Now that that's out of the way, Damian Nelson, Frank Constantino, and me, Ted, sitting here before you. Welcome to Max Sports TV and MaxSportsOnline.com. Let's go to the big story. The big story this week is Wrestlemania main event matches have been set. We've got the Raw main event set and the SmackDown main event set. So let's talk about it. Triple H has finagled his way up the card again to the main event match at WrestleMania, going up against John Cena. Frank, what do you have to say about that matchup? Headlining the biggest show of the year.
It makes sense, although a lot of us don't want Triple H
Is this
there.
Frank? Frank Constantino?
Yes.
Of Philadelphia?
It makes sense based on what transpired to there. RVD, as many fans as he has, I don't think is main event material. If Big Show would have won, there was no way that John Cena would have been able to do any kind of FU. It would have never worked.
I think he's done it already to Big Show a couple times.
It's horribly looking. It's bad.
No, he's no Brock Lesnar. Let's just say that. Brock would do it with ease.
While I don't like that Triple H is there, it just, because of how everything came together, it makes sense to do it based on RVD not, in my opinion, have been main event material against John Cena. It would have not worked.
He did. I think he takes a different stand on a couple of things.
Rob Van Dam
He's
has
a part
always
of the show.
been main event material. In your eyes, maybe not. In the eyes of Vince McMahon, maybe not. But in the eyes of the fans watching right here on Max Sports Online and
Those
watching
people.
on the television as well. I'm furious. Rob Van Dam has always been.
You should be furious. The guy doesn't bring in the ratings that...
Oh!
According to who?
Wait, remember though, who was the worst WWE champion in the last 5-10 years?
That's 10 years.
Who had the worst
7
business?
foot.
The worst business.
7
for
foot
WWE
tall.
while they were champions.
7 foot tall.
10 years. That was 95. That was 11 years ago.
Yeah. I thought we were talking about Kevin Nash.
You knew we were talking about Chris Jericho. Another person who you thought was a top star. See what happened when he was pushed up to carry.
I like RVD, but he's not main event material.
According to who?
According to me, it's an opinion.
Frank's an expert.
Up against John Cena is not main event material. It's just not. The ratings will not be there. As much as I despise Triple H, that will bring in the ratings.
And that thinking, that thought process, that just attitude will never allow RVB, and RVD to be main event material because you keep never giving a guy a chance. And you're starting to sound like you worked for WCW. You're starting to sound like
the way it is.
Wrestling organization.
I'm just calling it the way it is.
RVD can't be main event
healthy
material.
for one thing.
This is his first injury timeout in how many years?
He's had a few.
Injured a lot.
He had a few.
Injured a lot.
This is his first major long term.
Yeah.
He's
When a guy
busted a couple of
when
times.
a guy disappears for a month, so what? He's not Kane, who's gone every 6 months.
Triple H Cena is the match that has been announced. RVD is not included in it. That's
Obviously,
the main event
RVD
for
will probably be
sure.
the
Is
Money
that
in
a
the Bank.
match that should be the top of the card for WrestleMania 22?
No, the top of the card should be the Angle match.
Should it be the Raw top of the card for WrestleMania 22? Is that the best match for championship options that Raw could present for WrestleMania?
Unfortunately, yes.
Really? I don't agree. I feel that Triple H being in that match is what WWE feels is necessary to get the most buy rates, purchases for the card. But remember, WrestleMania is the event that people are going to order regardless. It's just you're ordering the name. It's like when you buy a pair of Guess jeans.
Or a Chevy Cavalier.
Black. But would an Edge Cena match or an Edge Cena Triple H match? I think Edge should have been involved, and I think Frank, you probably would sit here a couple of months ago, and all of us would have sat here a couple of months ago and said Edge in the main event at any pay-per-view just ain't going to sell. But Edge is now main event material, in my opinion, and could be mixed up into the match.
You know why? Because he was given a shot, and I guarantee you that if RVD would have been
He's
given
been
the
given
same
a shot.
When was he given a shot? Explain his shot.
He has, he's had several. He's headlined several pay-per-views. Has RVD for championship matchups against, I believe it was Triple H. This is, I think, 2003, maybe 4. He's been up there.
Where are we? Are we in Bizarro?
It didn't last long. It might have been a pay-per-view or two.
RVD is someone I want to just grasp and enjoy, but for some reason,
Yeah, he's heard about you too.
For some reason, he just can't get the full effect of the fans behind him throughout a whole match. The reason why this
The
is...
same was said about Chris Benoit.
Benoit.
But Chris Benoit proved that he was main event material.
So how do you give RVD that chance? You don't do it at WrestleMania.
You give him the surprise. You give him the surprise title shot, just like Edge got, and Edge cleared it out, and then, bam, you got it.
The reason why this works...
It works so great for Edge.
The reason why this main event works for Raw is the people despise, including myself, Triple H. They would like nothing better for him to lose this match. There are a bunch of people that like John Cena. I'm not one of them because I think he's just not a good in-ring wrestler. But they are looking for that just craziness of heel face, and it works. And it's going to work in this match because Triple H can work a main event.
But will the fans get behind Triple H before they get behind John Cena? Because Cena's got the 12-year-old kids and under. Anybody who's a real wrestling fan or anybody who's above their teens are not cheering for John Cena. It's a fact.
Unless
You hear
they're
it.
female.
Think about when you watch a Cena match. When he's coming out to the ring and the place is erupting in cheers. As soon as his entrance is over, the boos erupt. Because what? The people who pop, the casual fans who pop, are done. They've seen what they need to see, which is they've seen John Cena. But once he starts wrestling, once he starts performing, it's boo John Cena. Which he's acknowledged, and I like the way they're playing with it a little. But will the fans get behind Triple H before they get behind John Cena?
They won't let it happen. They've got nearly 2 months, not 2 months, 6 weeks or so, to just make Triple H a full-fledged heel. Enough to where in this match, it just won't make sense for people
So is that,
to cheer
do you
for
think
him.
that's the plan, and that's why they have Triple H going against John Cena, to maybe make John Cena that bigger face?
But remember how hard they tried to make Angle a heel. You know, when he didn't like black people and blah, 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 blah.
And he was
just
a sexual
didn't
pervert.
work. Remember years ago when they tried to make JR a heel against Michael Cole, and it made him more popular? It just doesn't work. You can't
Try to make
reverse
Austin a heel.
what the exactly, and it just doesn't work. The fans will do what the fans want to do, and you can't tell the fans as much as Vince McMahon might think. He said it on TV. You can't tell the fans who they're going to cheer for.
Just like RVD is going to be a face. People like him.
He isn't what they say, let it go. RVD, yeah, he hasn't been a heel in WWE.
Well, when he came in, because he was
Maybe-
part of the WCW
Maybe that'll work.
invasion.
Maybe that'll work.
A heel turn, it won't work. Fans will cheer RVD.
You never know. Maybe all he has to do is just start making the, go to hell to the fans and turn it back.
Maybe you should have, okay, here's the scenario. Let's have a pay-per-view. Maybe like at the July pay-per-view, the Great American Bash. Maybe you have, like a big-time matchup where it's, let's say, it's Kurt Angle versus JBL. Say that's the match. Let's say you have for these couple of people who've just recently gone to the dark side, if you will. Maybe they're aligning themselves with JBL. Let's say, for instance, it's Orlando Jordan, and let's say that the other person is. I'm finding another random person. Bobby Lashley. Let's say those people have aligned themselves, and then you've got the Savior who starts to walk down the aisle, and you think they're going to save the match for Kurt Angle, and that Savior is RVD, yet instead at the Great American Bash
You're asking
pay-per-view,
for an NWO
he comes out.
1996 finish. Am I on the right track here?
Why not?
I think it's a great, but that won't work for RVD.
If a heel turn were to occur for RVD, it's got to be something impactful like that. It's got to be something just disgusting, denigrating, something that you just hate the man for doing. So he's got to shoot a person. Maybe he can kill Tim White.
No, I'll tell you what he could do.
He could drive a black Cavalier and...
No. I can tell you what he could do. At the end of this, let's say Cena beats Triple H at WrestleMania, RVD comes out, gives a handshake to Cena, and then clobbers him.
What if he challenges him for a match right there?
WrestleMania 9.
Royal
Would that
Rumble
work? Do you think that
2006.
would work? As
Or
far as the
actually,
heel turn?
Elimination Chamber.
Nah. Beat a dead horse, I think. I just don't. The match that's been booked is Triple H and Cena. And, yeah.
I don't like it, but it makes sense.
Yeah, it sort of sucks. On the SmackDown side of things, Kurt Angle will go up against Randy Orton, a man who won a spot at No Way Out, a surprisingly good pay-per-view No Way Out, to get the main event shot at WrestleMania.
So this got you. Randy Orton, does he belong in a WrestleMania main event? And why?
Does he belong?
Because Randy Orton and RVD, I think, are on the exact same.
No, I don't think he's there.
Randy Orton is certainly on an elevated.
But RVD was never a champion, and Randy Orton was.
Randy Orton was a transitional champion, just to
he's
belt
a
back.
champion.
He was in the right place at the right time. Was Randy Orton, and the fans.
Because Chris Benoit and Triple H knew that he shouldn't have to lose or beat Chris Benoit. Chris Benoit got his push over Triple H by continually pinning him pay-per-view after pay-per-view after pay-per-view.
But as you
then
know,
Randy Orton went ahead and pinned Chris Benoit. Triple H took it right back from
as
Randy
you
Orton.
know, Chris Benoit's probably the best wrestler, but doesn't have the mic skills to become champion.
He's better than Shelton Benjamin.
Mike skills-wise?
God, those two are in the same category. Chris Benoit, Shelton Benjamin.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ain't worth a damn on a stick. But
That's why Chris Benoit always needed woman. And now Shelton's got his mouth.
Woman, won't you marry me now?
That's why Shelton's got his mouth.
Woman, did Chris Benoit ever get woman, huh?
Yeah, he sure did.
How's Calvin Sullivan nowadays? Yeah. Anyways, the match is not just those two, but Rey Mysterio is now the third party in that three-way dance on the SmackDown side of things for the WrestleMania main event. Now,
does Rey Mysterio belong in the main event and
ask
WrestleMania?
him. Isn't that Rey Mysterio? It's about thought. I will answer that question. That's a damn no. No. Rey Mysterio, I'm sorry. He is a comic act.
Do you think Rey Mysterio and the Eddie Guerrero thing will die after WrestleMania? No pun intended.
We'll talk about that in talking points.
Okay.
But Rey Mysterio, while he's a great wrestler and certainly has athletic ability, so don't get me wrong, he is not somebody I buy as a championship contender. David versus Goliath. Remember when he had that whole angle with Kevin Nash? It's all been done before.
Right.
We don't respect, and this sounds a lot harsher than it is, but the fact is we don't respect Rey Mysterio in this spot. It just doesn't seem to fit.
It doesn't fit. No. And you mentioned he's a great athlete, but it doesn't fit as far as I am the. And they sometimes even refer to as the heavyweight
It
champion.
is the World
Well,
Heavyweight
on
Championship.
SmackDown is the heavyweight championship, and on Raw it is the WWE championship.
I just don't. Ray winning the Royal Rumble was sad enough for me, but now I can't buy it. I can't buy it. Well, I can't buy it. It's just he's.
Kurt
No.
Angle. Again, it's early right now, but if no one gets injured between now and WrestleMania, they have to put that belt, in my opinion, on Kurt Angle.
How many months did we see the Angle Mysterio angle, if you will? Remember back in 2002, maybe it was? When Angle Mysterio, and they rehashed it a couple of months ago again before Angle jumped over to Raw.
Damien, many years ago here on this very program,
This one?
you gave me a philosophy that WWE follows. The wrestling fan does not remember past
3 years.
3 years.
3 years. And I think that time is about 6 months now. But anyways, an Angle Orton match can deliver, barely, can deliver on the top of the card for the SmackDown side at WrestleMania. Barely, but can deliver. An Angle Orton Mysterio match, think about these factors, these decision factors that lead into these things, sort of like why Jeff Hardy's still employed with TNA. These people sell merchandise. These people are delivering the goods for WWE's business side of things. So what do you do when you got these people who are making you money? You put them in a top spot on the show because it's obvious that people will react to them. So I don't knock it from that standpoint. And, it's great that Rey Mysterio gets his chance. It's great that Randy Orton gets his chance. It's great that, Triple H gets his chance again. But
Triple H didn't get a chance. He just took an opportunity.
I just can't buy it. I'm sorry. I can't buy
On the SmackDown side, you don't want to put Undertaker in there again.
Well, and as of this taping, he's not, but I firmly believe that it's going to be a four-way match. Because Undertaker's not done with Kurt Angle, and he has his number, as we saw at the end of the No Way Out paper.
If that's the case, and you've got to take this into consideration, Undertaker's how many 0?
He's 11.
13-0 at WrestleMania.
13-0 at WrestleMania. If he's put into the four-way, how's that going to play out?
Well, he doesn't.
Undertaker never plans on losing it.
But he's undefeated at WrestleMania in any way, shape, or form. So that would break the streak, even if he got counted out, disqualified, whatever.
Yeah. So, and he doesn't want to ruin that streak.
But he can
That's
break
his
the streak
legacy.
because he's a dead man. So getting a 13-0.
That's his legacy.
Maybe this will be his final wrestle. This really, in all honesty, this WrestleMania should be the final one for Ric Flair. This should be the final match for The Undertaker. And
Mick Foley.
yeah, him coming back has no more shock factor. I'm sorry. I mean, I love Mick to death, and Mick's hopefully going to be in town here soon, and we'll give you information on that.
Mm-hmm.
But you just got to end it with some of these people. And I understand Ric Flair's situation where
Right.
he can't quite retire yet because he's got some financial obligations he needs to meet. But The Undertaker, I think that he's a Mae Young, if you will, where he just does what the company asks him to do. And he's got to get to
He's
that
earned the
point
spot.
where-
I mean,
he has. And he can still deliver. I mean, we saw that in No Way Out. That main event match was phenomenal. He can still deliver, however, it's time to move over, step aside, and make your matches more special, like a Ric Flair. When he lost the strap to the Intercontinental Champion Shelton Benjamin, last week, didn't care. He came out and just wrestled a match, didn't say a word, didn't do anything. You don't use Ric Flair in that capacity. Ric Flair should be a man who's wrestling once a month, maybe. It's a special match.
And that's
wow,
why they got
Ric
the
Flair is
belt off.
dawn in the title.
That's why they had to get the belt off.
Oh, it's that 30-day clause.
Exactly. Speaking of 30-day clause, doesn't that apply to the tag team championship as well on Raw?
When's the last? I talked about this in the online Raw wrap-up. When is the last time those tag team straps on Raw?
When is the last time Kane and Big Show have been on the screen together?
In a team.
Well, wait a minute. Maybe they have in house shows.
They haven't. I've been checking.
Could have been.
You never know.
That's this week's big story. The two main events have been made for WrestleMania 22. We invite you to send us your email comments or visit us at the message board in the forum and let us know what you think. We're glad to respond to this. Give you our spin on